All right, so good evening, students. So we are going to embark on another project on our app. And in this particular app, we are going to try to create an app that we can actually link with our Google spreadsheet. So because we are dealing with the Google spreadsheet, so the first and foremost thing that we're going to do is we are going to create a Google spreadsheet. So for that, if you've already logged in into your account, you can click on this Google Apps icon, and then where is the sheet? Yeah. You can click on Google Sheets. So you're going to create a blank one. So once you have opened up a blank sheet, first thing that you want to give is, let's say we are going to have a spreadsheet on places. So maybe we can name this as places. So we can put places to visit. I'm just going to name this as places to visit. And in the Google spreadsheet, we are going to create a few columns. So the first column is we're going to name it as place. The second column we can name it as image. The third column we can name it as description. The fourth one we can put as latitude, and the fifth one as the longitude. So this is actually our header. The first row is our header, our data header. Everyone able to see, right? The size. Able to see. So what we're going to do is, let's say we're going to select a few places and we are going to include the images and description of the places with the latitude and also the longitude, so that these data are here in the Google Maps. But your app will try to access to the Google spreadsheet and extract the data. So that's what we'll be doing. So let's say the first place that we want to include maybe is the Centrum. Another one maybe we use sports arena. This is Uni10, and maybe another one we put as Uni10 library. So everyone okay? Three places so far. Three places that we have including in our spreadsheet. We go spreadsheet. If you go to Google app, scroll down, there's sheets. Managed to get? So is everyone able to come up to this point? So now we have given the names of the places. Place that we visit. Three only currently, just for experimental, we're just putting three. Next, we actually also want to include the image. So for the image, what do is we try to copy and paste the image URL. So let's open up a new tab, and if we're searching for Decentrum, right, go to image. It's a lot of Decentrum images that are here. So you can choose whichever one that you like. So let's say there is this one, okay, Decentrum. So you're going to right click and copy the image address. So when you copy the image address, you paste it here, right? This is text wrap. see. I'm trying to do the text wrap. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, this is the clip one. Thank you. So actually the URL is long, but because we do the text wrapping of the clip text wrapping, it will still have the full URL, but it will maintain the length of the column. But if you click here, you can see that you have the long one. Same. Okay, once you get the copy pasted for this centrum, then we can do the sports arena. Okay, that is sport arena. So same thing, you copy the image address, paste it here also. Again, you do the same thing with the text clipping. And the last one is Unitine library. Okay, maybe this one. So copy the image address and also paste it here. Okay. What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to copy and paste the link to see whether able to view the images or not. Okay, so all the images, the URL link are working. So when you try on a new tab, you can see all the images are working. So did you all manage to? Okay, so once you have actually have the images, next we can actually put the description here. We can actually put description as maybe food, then this one as sports. Some descriptions, you can put whatever description that you want related to that. Resources. Description referring to whatever description that describes that place. Of course, the centrum is not just about food. It's about, or maybe you can just put food and stocks, for example. So all this data you're actually creating here on your Google spreadsheet. Of course, later on, you'll use the app to extract those information out. Now we also need the latitude and also the longitude. So how can we actually get the latitude and longitude? So let's say Unitine library. So let's go maps. So already you see Unitine Putrajaya library already has a pin. So if you right click on your cursor, do you see the top one? This is the longitude. So when you left click, it will automatically copy. So you paste it here. Of course, it will paste both. So you want to take the longitude out. remove the comma and longitude, paste it here. So you can see 8, 11. The latitude and the longitude. So make sure it's correct. Latitude and longitude. Oh, sorry. This is for Unit library. It's not for decentrum. My mistake. Is that okay? Everyone managed to get? So likewise. Sorry? Where to copy? So now you have the Unit 10, right? This is Unit 10 library. So if already has a pin, or you can put wherever you want your cursor. You just can right click. You see the first one is the latitude and the longitude. So when you just left click, it automatically copies. Then you can paste it. Is that okay? Got it? So likewise, you can do for sports arena as well. So where is sport arena? Sports arena is here. Oh, okay. This is okay, right? So you can either put wherever you want, whether you want to put the pin or you want to put at the entrance here. So let's say if you want to put it at the entrance, you can copy this, paste it. Cut this and paste it here. I'm just going to remove the comma. Is that okay? Now we're also going to do the same for decentrum. Where is decentrum? Oh, okay, it's a lot of, right. So you can define where you want to put the decentrum. So there's a lot of, someone put the decentral residence in the middle of the road here. So you can put somewhere here, wherever you want. So right click, copy, and paste it. So I'm just going to remove the latitude, paste it here, and remove the. Okay, done. Everyone managed to do. So we have created a simple spreadsheet on places to visit, which consists of place, image, description, latitude, and longitude. So the data are here, but we will use our Thunkable app to access to this data. So everyone okay? Can we now go on to Thunkable? So you need to create a new app in Thunkable. So let me see how many apps do I have already. So we are all here in Thunkable. So once you are Thunkable, then you click on create new app, right? So once you click new app, just hold on. So let's give a name. Uh, so maybe name it as Thunkable Spread. So you select a category, education, for example. Make sure don't check on this, don't check. So it is public, you can't do anything about it. So you click or create. Excuse me. So have you all created? So currently we are on our screen 1. So what we're going to do is, under the components palette, we are going to try to search for uh, data viewer list. This one. This is under the user interface component. So if you scroll down, there is this data viewer list. So if you click on the question mark, so data viewer list component allows you to add, view, and click on items in a configurable list layout. So we're going to use the data viewer list. So drag this and drop it here on the screen. So immediately it goes on the top of your screen. And immediately you'll see that there is this data source that it asks you to add. So you click on the data source, add. Is everyone here? Have you added the data viewers list?
Yeah, there is no the files data source.
Yeah, of course, we haven't. We have not done that yet. So you click add, yours will be empty. So you click on create new. So when you click on create new, we are going to select the Google Sheets, right? You're going to create a data source from the Google Sheet. So here you're going to use a select. Let me see. Sheet. Yeah, close this. So here you're gonna the which row are your columns headers in. This is by default row 1. That's why we define our header, right? And which is the first row that containing data is row 2, right? That's how we are defined, right? This is our header. Row 1 is our header, and the data starts from row 2 onwards. So that's by default. So we're going to use the select a sheet. So you can click on select a sheet. So when you select a sheet, because you are logged in into your account, you'll be able to see the file, the spreadsheet. So click on that, places to visit, and click select. So do you see now automatically the names will be selected. So everyone okay? Then you click on create. So see, we have added the data source, places to visit, and the table by default is will be sheet 1 because there's only sheet 1, right? This one. There's only sheet 1. Is everyone okay? Now if you scroll down, there is this list item layout. How you want your items to be laid out here. So if you click on, yes,
So can I check? How can I check that? Did I choose the right sheet or not?
you can actually click here to view the data.
Is that?
Here, click here to view the data. Okay, so there is this list item layout. You can actually choose the type of layout that you want to display. So if you, how you want each row to look like. Currently by default is this title and row subtitle. So maybe in our case, maybe we can choose, maybe you can choose this one. There's an image, there's a title, there's a subtitle. So let's click this one. So it has this kind of option. Or to make it simple, maybe we'll choose the image and title only. The first one, image and title only. When you choose a particular layout, here, the data bindings automatically uh, request for the link for those data. Like for example, this one, when you use the list item layout, there is an image and there is a title, right? So therefore, automatically you'll see two options here. Get the image property from what? And text. So if you see under the picture, drop down, do you see that automatically it actually gives the header from your Google spreadsheet? So image should be image, right? So click on that. And title property, drop down. This one is places. I'm going to choose places. So let's say if you just now, if you chose the third one with subtitle, then do you see subtitle also comes here? So maybe you can use as a description. But this one, I think I'll just keep as this one. So let's see if we're able to preview it. I think the settings are done. Is to visit sheet 1. Try on your Thunkable Live. Let's see whether are we able to. So here I'm not so sure why it's not previewing, but on the phone it's actually showing all the 3 items, right? So that's why this is the data viewer list. So you can show all the items. But when you press on it, of course, when you click on it, nothing happens because you have not done any functionalities on that yet. So okay. But nice, you can see the images there, right? So if you want to try, you can actually try to put the description, then you'll see more description there. But I just want to keep it minimalistic, so that's why I did it this way. Any question up to this point? So now, what we actually want to do is that whenever we click a particular list, we want it to go to the next screen and give a full description of that screen. That means it gives the full image, it gives what's the place and what's the description. So for that, we want to add another screen. So click on, you see screen 1, then there is this plus sign, right? So click on it, so it'll add a blank screen, so you click next. So this is screen 2. So screen 2, we can actually rename this screen 2 as our info screen. Is that okay? Info screen. Now under the info screen, we want to have a few components. One is we want to have the image. We want to have the name of the place. We want to have the description of the place, right? So, and we also want to include a button. Why? So what happens is, like in the first page, when you see the 3 items, right? Whenever you click any one of them, it'll go to this info screen. It'll show the full picture, give the description, and also there'll be a next button. So when you click the next button, it automatically will go to the next item in the list. So you have 3. So when you keep on pressing next, it'll go to the next item. So that's what we want to do. So let us try to put all these items first. So the first one is we want to include the image. So let's search for image. So drag and drop image. So you can actually resize the image however size that you want. Let's see. So let's say 200. Width is 200. So later you can change. Okay, no problem. And then what we want to do is we want to also include the label, because that's going to be, whenever you click the image, it will come here. Then we're going to have the one label is for the name of the place, the second label is for the description, right? So we need to add two labels. So let's go here where the labels are. So drag and drop the first label. So do you see, when you add, if the label goes up, what you can do is at the component, at the tree component here, you can drag and bring it down. So in this way the label comes bottom. Then you want to add another label also. So again that label also goes up, so you bring it down. So you have these two labels. And remember that we want to also include a button. So just drag and drop, put the button. This one I want it to be at the bottom. So everyone okay? So let us actually rename the label, each one of the labels. So when you click on the first label on top, automatically the property comes up, right? So this one we can rename it as the place label, right? Place label. So later on, the place label, the text will change. So under the text, we can just put as name of place, right? So this one maybe you can include a little bit of margin, perhaps not to be too close. And the same thing you do with the second label. Second label is actually the description label, and this one is place description. And this one also, I think we can add some margin, so it doesn't be close to one another. Right, so what we have done is we have changed the label property names accordingly. This is the place label, this is the description label, and we have changed the text as well, place description and also name of place. And finally we're going to work on the button. So this button you can rename as the next button. So here under the text you can actually put next, and you can change the color however that you want. So whatever color that you like doesn't matter, so feel free to change. And here we're going to also have the top margin, and if you don't like the next wording be too close to the top part, you can actually add some padding as well. So maybe a small padding would do too much. You can change the padding when you see it on a phone. Here it doesn't really reflect very well. So everyone done so far? So now let's go back to screen 1 and let's go to the blocks of the screen 1. So far what we have done, we have included a data viewer list, and under the info screen, whenever you click whatever items in that the first screen, you'll go to the next screen, you'll show a full picture, you'll give the name and you'll give the place description, and whenever you click next, it's supposed to be going to the next items. Okay, so let's go to the screen 1 and let us go to the block. Hey, what happened? Sorry? Oh, really? So now I forgot to press the continue record. So in screen 1, whenever you have the list of items here, so whenever you click, you want it to go to the next page to give the full information about that place, right? So the block is associated with the data viewers list. So when you click on this, do you see the first one? When data viewers list item is clicked, then you do. So you drag this one. Okay. So there is, when you click this item, each item is actually has a row ID. Like in the Google spreadsheet, each row has its own ID. But this ID is not like 2, 3, 4 like that. No. The ID is an automated generated ID, which is unique ID. And it doesn't come, it's not like 0, 1, 2 or things like that. Let's say if in our next class, we will actually show how the ID actually looks like. You can actually see. So it's not a problem. So whenever you click that particular item, what it does, it captures that particular item's row ID. This row has a particular ID. This row has a particular ID. This row has a particular ID. All these IDs are unique for each row. So whenever you, let's say if you click on Decentrum, it will capture that ID. That ID is important because when we go to the next page, when we want to extract the other informations, we need that row ID. Is that okay? So in order for us to capture the row ID, we are going to create a variable to store the row ID. Is that okay? So when we want to actually set a variable, so you can click on variables, and there is the first one, initialize app variable name, right? So click on this, so just put it here. So currently you see that there's a drop down here option, that's the app, stored, and also cloud. So these variables, you can actually store it in these three options. The first one is app. That means you store the particular information. The variable is created when you on the app. While you're using the app, it will actually store. When you close it, it gets destroyed. Then there's a second option which is stored. So which means it will occupy your phone's memory storage. It will store in your phone. The third one is cloud. You're storing it in a cloud database. So currently we're just using the app variable. So we're going to give a name to the variable. This is the place ID. So we can give the variable name as the place ID. And we're going to initialize it to empty text. So you click on the text and just put it as an empty string. Because the row ID is actually a long alphanumeric value. So you're going to initialize it, the place ID. Okay, so now we have initialized this variable. I'm sure that you all are taking C programming, right? So, no. How come? For diploma, there's no C programming? Really? Supposed to have. So, you actually initialize the variable. So now we can actually start using the variable. We want to set the variable place ID. See, once you have created a variable, automatically when you click on variable, you'll see this option. So we want to use the set the variable app variable ID to what? We want to capture the row ID. So drag and place it here. So remember, variable place ID is an empty variable. So now what we are doing, we are taking the row ID and we are copying it into the app variable place ID. So which means that whichever item that you click, that row ID will be stored into the app variable place ID. Is that okay? And what is the next step? When you click on that particular list, we want to capture that particular item's row ID, and also now we want it to go to the next page, right? So next page means what? Under control, that is navigate to screen. So just put it down here. So which screen you want it to navigate to? Info screen. You have given a name, right? So info screen. Is that okay? So now let us actually try to do the second one. So under the info screen tab, so in screen one done ready, we click items, you save the row ID, store it in the app variable ID, and then you navigate to the info screen. Now under info screen, so when the screen, oh that's mine. When the screen info screen opens, what you want, because now it is actually going from screen one to info screen, right? When the screen one launches or opens, what do you want to see? So therefore, we are going to use the info screen option. When you click on the info screen, there is this, when info screen opens. So what do you want to do when the info screen opens? So here, under the info screen, we want to actually manipulate what? We want to manipulate the place label, the description label, and also the image, right? Oops, image, we didn't, sorry, forgot the image. Let's rename the image. So this one, let's say this is renamed as places image. Okay, so let's give some name. So now let's go to block. So we want to actually manipulate the places image, place label, and also description label. These are the things that we want to actually do. So let's click on the image. So we want to actually set the picture to, so we want to set, right? So take and put it here. Same thing with the place label. We want to say set the place label text to something something, and the description label, we want to set the description text to something something. Is that okay? Everyone okay up to this point? So finally, where we are actually going to get the values from, we are going to get from the data sources, right? So we're going to click on data sources. There is this option of get value from. So we're going to use this first one. So this one you can duplicate also. Put it for all. Are you able to see this? You set the whatever the places, images, picture to, you get value from place to visit, places to visit. This is our spreadsheet, right? In sheet 1 and where? Is it under place, image, description, latitude, longitude? Which one? Under image. Now do you see, now this is where the row ID importance comes in. You need the row ID. Now where have we stored the row ID? In which variable? It's only one variable we did right just now. Yes, place ID. So when you click on variable, there is app variable place ID. So put it here. And the same thing you can duplicate also. The label, places label, this one you need to, okay, this is correct because this is place. But the description, this one is description. Everyone okay? So if now let's see when you preview, if you click there, you see it opens up a new page. It takes the image, it takes the place, it takes the description. course, we didn't put the next button function here. So which means it won't work, the next function button. Is it okay? Any questions that you have? I'll stop the recording because it's 4:50.